I especially want to take this occasion to congratulate China and the Communist Party. I think on its 100th, it is the anniversary of the CPC. Also, in Pakistan, we admire President Xi Jinping as one of the great statesmen of the modern world. We have admiration for him in Pakistan for two particular reasons. One, his commitment to fight corruption. The commitment that a society there must be rule of law in a society. In other words, the powerful must be brought under the law. And corruption is, when it destroys a country, it is when there is a corrupt elite which does not bring itself under the rule of law, and they are the ones who do the maximum damage. So I have watched the corruption drive, anti-corruption drive of President Xi Jinping, and we here in Pakistan are very impressed by the way he has so many high-level officials, ministerial-level people have been held accountable for their corruption. Secondly, and the most remarkable thing about China, which we all admire, is that the way they have brought so many millions of people out of poverty. The figure we are told is almost 700 million people have been brought out of poverty in the last 6-7 years. And recently, China announced that China has finally eliminated extreme poverty. I don't think there is any precedent in history of a society achieving these great goals. The CPC is a unique model. Until now, we were told that the best way of societies improving themselves is the Western system of democracy. And we were told that that is the best way of progress of a society. But what the CPC has done is that it has brought this alternate model, and they have actually beaten all Western democracies in the way they have brought up merit in the society. You see, what is remarkable, a society succeeds if that society has systems which bring two things forward: meritocracy and accountability. Accountability of the ruling elite, which means a transparent system, which is very important for progress, and secondly, which brings up merit in a society. So until now, the feeling was that democracy is electoral democracy is the best way where you get merit, leadership based on merit, and then hold that leadership accountable. But what CPC has done is that without that electoral democracy, it has actually achieved that and much better. What I saw in China when I visited the Communist Party headquarters and when they gave us briefings, their system of sifting talent and then grooming it and bringing it up, for me, is probably more remarkable than any democratic electoral democracy does not bring up that sort of meritocracy or can hold people accountable. And third thing is that it's a very flexible system. You know, when they want to change something, that system allows them to bring a change. And fourthly, of course, the long-term planning. They plan so far ahead. Sometimes in a democracy, you only, I mean in an electoral democracy, you only look for the next 5 years and it contradicts long-term planning. Our interaction with the Chinese officials, that version of what is happening in Xinjiang is completely different to the version of what we hear from the Western media and the Western governments. So because we have a very strong relationship with China, and because we have a relationship based on trust, So we actually accept the Chinese version. You know, what they say about, you know, their programs in Xinjiang, so we accept it. The second point is that we find it a little bit hypocritical when there are much worse human rights issues in the world which get no attention. For instance, in Kashmir. Kashmir is a huge human rights problem. There are about 9 million, 8 million Kashmiris which are basically have been put into an open prison until recently. It's a police state where there are extrajudicial killings, there's imprisonment, there's arbitrary arrests and a ban on media, and yet there is hardly any adverse comment in the Western media. 100,000 Kashmiris have died in the last 30 years for a freedom struggle. It's a disputed territory. Yet you hardly get any coverage in the Western media, and we hear about Xinjiang and Hong Kong, which is a bit hypocritical.